Welcome to the Reel Debrief, the show where we dive deep into the world of film production, exploring the genres you love, the projects making waves, and the trends shaping the industry. We're here to give you a 360-degree review for entertainment professionals. So grab your popcorn and get ready for some expert insights. And, well, the occasional bed joke from Talen. It's the Reel Debrief. Now your hosts, Talen and Lisa.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Talen, and today we have a really fascinating discussion lined up for you. Joining me, as always, is the exceptionally brilliant Lisa.
Hey Talen, I'm really excited about this one. We're diving into a play that mixes comedy, drama, and a little bit of camp, all featuring two legendary performers, Farrow and Patti LuPone. It's called The Roommate.
Yeah, that's right, Lisa. The Roommate, written by Jen Silverman and directed by Jack O'Brien, brings these two icons together for what feels like a blend of odd couple comedy and existential exploration. Farrow plays Sharon, an empty nester from Iowa, while LuPone steps in as Robyn, a mysterious New Yorker who moves into Sharon's spare bedroom. And right off the bat, the dynamic between them sets up this fun, unexpected clash.
Exactly. And let's not forget the way Farrow absolutely owns her character's quirks. The first thing that hits you when you see her on stage is her voice. It's light, airy, almost like dandelion fluff floating through the air. And when Sharon gets confused or surprised, Farrow squeezes out this squeaky little ooh, like someone just stepped on a rubber duck. It's so endearing, but also completely captures how sheltered and naive her character is.
Yeah, Farrow brings this innocent charm to Sharon, and she plays it against the gritty, street-smart vibe of LuPone's character. I mean, Robyn enters the scene like a whirlwind, boxes of vegetables in one hand and black leather coats in the other. You get this sense that she's a fish out of water, too. But in a very different way. It's like the city mouse, country mouse dynamic we've seen before, but with a twist.
Absolutely. And of course you've got Patti LuPone, this larger-than-life presence who, even when she's playing a character, can't really hide that she's Patti LuPone. The audience laughs at just about anything she does, whether it's a sarcastic eye roll or a dry comment about Park Slope.
I mean, come on, it's LuPone. Even in a wig that looks like it came straight out of a Joan Jett tribute, she commands the stage. There's this moment early on where Sharon invites Robyn to her reading group, and the way LuPone responds, just the way she says, "Your reading group," she turns it into an entire punchline. You can hear the Bronx attitude dripping from every word.
Right? But here's the thing. The dialogue itself is a bit odd, right? There's this whole conversation about how one of Sharon's friends, Tanya, calls it a reading group because she's from Idaho and didn't get exposed to culture until later in life. I mean, it's funny, but also weirdly illogical.
Yeah, and some of the jokes in this play feel like they're unfinished, or like they were written just to get to the next moment. But I mean, that's part of the charm of The Roommate, I think. It's a bit haphazard, a little all over the place, and that sort of mirrors the chaos that Robyn brings into Sharon's life. The two bond over getting high together. Sharon has literally never touched a joint before, and the next thing you know, she's asking Robyn to teach her how to scam people over the phone.
It's such a bizarre shift. I mean, you've got Farrow, who's 79, giggling about learning how to run a con. It's like this goofy, unhinged midlife crisis meets Nancy Meyers rom-com, with a little bit of TV show weeds thrown in for good measure.
Right. And this is where the play gets even more ridiculous. Sharon's innocence makes her easy prey for Robyn's past life as a con woman, and soon enough, Sharon is just hooked. She wants to go all in, ripping off the elderly, stealing cars, you name it. And LuPone just leans into it, totally deadpan, talking about how good she is at jacking cars and stripping them down. It's pure camp, and the audience eats it up.
It really is. But I think the whole point of the play is to embrace that artificiality. You're not there to watch some deep introspective drama. You're there to revel in the sheer presence of these two legends having fun on stage. It's like the play is just a vehicle for them to interact and play off each other.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, okay, that's the appeal of a star vehicle, right? You're not judging it by the same standards you would some other plays. And hey, people go to Broadway for this kind of thing all the time. It's camp. It's exaggerated. And that's totally fine. The moment you see LuPone strutting on stage, you know you're in for a good time. There's even this tension in the room whenever a phone rings. People know about LuPone's reputation for calling out theater goers who break etiquette. I mean, you could feel the audience bracing themselves.
Oh, totally. And then there's Mia Farrow, who hasn't been on a New York stage in a decade. I think that's what elevates the roommate beyond just a fun night out. It's Farrow. She brings the screwball comedy energy at first, but there's also something deeper going on. As Sharon starts to let loose, you see this sense of loneliness creeping in. It's as if she's discovering parts of herself she buried a long time ago.
That's what makes Farrow's performance stand out. Even though the play doesn't have much depth in its writing, she finds those little moments of vulnerability. I mean, you almost feel like it's a waste to have someone like Farrow in a play that's just kind of, well, fluff.
True, and yet she makes it work. Watching her rise above the material, giving it more emotional weight than it probably deserves, is part of the magic of live theater. There's this ineffable quality, this presence that's impossible to replicate in any other medium. I think that's what people go to see, especially in this kind of production.
Exactly. It reminds me of what's happening in some off-Broadway productions right now, where plays are staged in people's apartments or living rooms. I mean, it strips away all the spectacle, but you still get that same buzz, that thrill of being up close and personal with a performer. It's like what we're seeing with smaller shows like Family, which is this creepy haunted house thriller by Celine Song, staged in a Clinton Hill brownstone.
That's right. Even though the scale is smaller, the intimacy adds this whole new level of engagement. You're right there watching these performers inhabit the space. And it feels like you're a part of the story in a way that's so different from watching a traditional stage play.
Yeah, and while the roommate is on the other end of the spectrum, it's all about presence. Having Farrow and LuPone share the stage, even if the play itself is a bit flimsy, makes it an experience you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, the roommate might not be high art, but it's entertaining, and in its own quirky way, it gives us a chance to watch two icons play off each other. That alone is worth the price of admission.
Oh yeah, well said, Lisa. And with that, I think it's time to wrap up. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another deep dive into the world of theater and film. Until then, enjoy the show.
Take care, everyone.
This has been the Reel Debrief. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, like, rate, and review. We'll see you soon on the Reel Debrief.